welcome back to another episode of Your Divine Glow podcast. I'm Ashley Conyers, aka the Divine Glow Coach, who guides professionals to embrace and find their true purpose through entrepreneurship. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you are tuning in on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss when we drop a new episode. Today we have a special guest in the building. He is a new face in the studio. My special guest. My special guest is a resilient and transformative individual. He is a multi-skilled entrepreneur whose journey is a testament to overcoming adversity and discovering one's true potential. His story is truly inspiring, and his diverse skill set and willingness to try anything to achieve success makes him unique. Please welcome Mr. Sam Jean to the space. What's
My goodness,
good?
what an intro. Like, you just made me feel important, all right?
You are important.
Right,
You
talking.
are important.
All right, I
How
love
are
it.
you? How are you feeling?
I'm blessed and highly favored.
I love that. Me too. Me too.
I got the
Today,
AC off. I got the AC off right now, so there's no background noise. So if you see like sweat starting to trickle down my face, just don't mind that. We good.
oh sweet Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, you know
Yeah.
what? You got the towel. Just pat. You
Yeah,
good.
that's
Y'all
right.
good. Y'all
That's right.
good. So thank you so much for joining us on Your Divine Glow podcast. And wanted to be a guest. Honestly, the way we met was really random. I can't even pinpoint how we
Right.
met. It was
Right.
just kind of like I guess through Instagram. We just met through
Yeah.
Instagram. That's what it was. And you recently came to our mixer that we had not too long ago.
Amazing.
And yeah, so what did you think about the mixer?
It was amazing. I'm glad that I was able to step outside my comfort zone because usually I used to spend my time mostly just going to the clubs, and that environment I just got tired of it quickly. You know what I'm saying? So being able to switch it up, I'm like, you know what? I'm out of the way today. I'm driving 40 minutes down to the shore, and I know it's going to be around like-minded individuals. I mean, once I even got there, your friend Scooter, within 10 minutes, we having a conversation, and I felt the comfortability. Because when I first got there, I'm like, man, nobody really know me, so I ain't gonna really have nobody to talk to. So the fact that he approached me, now we're having a conversation, and that conversation turned to another conversation with Tamika. So I got to meet a lot of people. I got to meet your father, amazing guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the mixer was amazing because nobody was necessarily on their phone. Everybody was conversating. And that's what I really like.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, when I tell you, I was like, why I got no pictures? I ain't got no videos. But it's a good thing too because nobody was on their phone like that.
Absolutely.
Which means a lot because everybody was just in the moment. Everybody was just exchanging energy. Like it was not a time where I felt like I was turning around and someone was not talking.
Absolutely.
I feel like the whole 3 hours, people were like just talking nonstop. But yeah, no, I'm really happy that you actually came out your shell and just, took a chance. Yeah. So with that being said, I want to deep dive into just entrepreneurship, right? For you, because that's why you came out, because you are a jack of all trades, is what you call yourself. So tell people first, what do you do? And did you really have any aspirations to be an entrepreneur?
That's a great question. So what do I do now? As far as a 9 to 5, I do construction, which is ironworking, one of the most dangerous jobs ever. Statistically wise, our kind of work is 200% more dangerous than being a police officer. And I ain't trying to flex on that. I'm just, showing the severity of it. Secondly, I also do vinyl wrapping for commercial companies. So if you ever see like a Target truck or Walmart truck, we're the ones that put the signs on those trucks. It's not paint, it's stickers and stuff like that. So that's what I do. Outside of that, I do videography. So, a little bit of everything.
Everything. Yeah. Okay, wait, but am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something.
Personal trainer?
Mm-hmm.
That one? Okay.
Yeah. Like you have a business, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. What is it called?
SX4.
Okay. What does that stand for?
So for me, it's the 4 phases of life: struggle, strive, stack, and then succeed. So X times 4.
Nice. So when did you start that?
That was about 2 years ago. Actually,
Oh,
2 years and about 3 months ago. Yeah.
okay. Wow.
Yeah,
Well, congratulations.
thank you so much.
So-
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So what another part of my question was, did you have aspirations to be an entrepreneur? Like you're like, I mean, when I tell you there's nothing that you can't not do, I mean, at at this point, but did you
That's
always want to grow up and be like, yeah, I just want to be like I don't want a 9 to 5 my whole life, or of course you start with one and you still have
absolutely.
that
Yeah.
opportunity, but like I want to venture out and do my own thing. Was that
Right.
always the plan?
Yeah. I never initially knew that I had this creative mindset, but then now that you're asking this question, I think back to the days where I actually used to make club beats and I actually used to be a DJ.
Oh
So
wow.
now that you think about it, I always was just willing to try new things. I'm a very hands-on person, so I was just always willing to try new things and go on to the next thing. But she tell me, she's like, you know why I'm jealous of you? And she's playing around with saying this. She's
Mhm.
like, no matter what hobby you pick up, you become great at it. And the fact that she said that to me, I'm like, dang, like I see it because there's not one hobby that I didn't start that I didn't try to perfect it in a certain way. Because I didn't want to be a videographer. I didn't want to, necessarily be a DJ. It just happened. I'm like, yo, let me try this. And then I got good at it. And so as cliche as
Yeah.
it sounds, you really can do anything you put your mind to.
Yeah,
Fact.
that's dope. I
Yes.
mean, geez, what's next? What do you want to try next?
You know what's crazy? That's a great question. I do want to step outside of my comfort zone. I've been doing the videography thing for a while now, and I love it.
Mm.
I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely love content creating. I think I want to definitely dive deeper into doing vlogs now, because I did a vlog back in 2018, Cali vlog, and I got an abundant amount of love on it. And
Mm-hmm.
I love the feeling of just, going back. It's very cringe to, watch back my video and stuff like that. But I love that feeling. I get just watching my work and I'm like, you know what? This is my lane, you know, entrepreneurship side of things. That's what I'd rather do versus a 9 to 5. Because right now I can't even tell you if I love my job. I definitely don't. Money's good, but I never
Yeah.
want to sacrifice my happiness for the next dollar. I just don't see myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that strongly. I think and that's the reason why I chose this path
Mhm.
because, for those people that know or may not know, like yourself, I still am a licensed social worker, but
Okay.
I just being in the traditional field of social work, um, it just wasn't fulfilling for me. Like I wanted to make more of an impact and I felt so limited in just who I am and what I bring to the table. It's like, as I always say, they say, "Oh, you can help, but you have to help like this," and I'm just like,
Right.
"But
Yep.
how is that? Your way is not the way, and there's just no one size fits all." And
Crazy.
it just felt very limiting to who I was created and born to be. So I was guided into this path and I honestly had no example. I still, not to say I still don't, because I do now because I
Mhm.
have community, right?
Yep.
um but initially, like in my family, I don't know what that looks like. Nobody's an entrepreneur that I know of per in my intermediate like
Hmm.
circle that I know of. So everything that I learned up until this point has just been a lot of research, a lot of connection, like really hands-on learning,
Yep.
and reaching out to people. So is that also very similar to you and how you picked up, like videography or
Right.
your child? I'd be forgetting how many things you got going on, like fitness. But
Yeah.
how did you get yourself out there and to really learn these trades?
So it's good that you're asking that. Everything connects to each other in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So with fitness, right? I started working out before I became a videographer. And in
mm,
order to be a content creator, right? As far as like getting your videos out as a fitness instructor, whatever you want to call it, you got to
yeah.
record those videos. So I told myself, you know what? I'm going to up the game. I'm going to start recording my videos. Now, I won't show you the videos I used to record because they do suck. You know what I'm saying? But I can
You
see
gotta
the
start somewhere.
exactly, exactly. So I can see the
Yeah.
growth between the videos I used to post back from like 2015 versus now. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, and it all connects because although I'm in the lane of fitness, I'm also further in my lane of videography. So now my videos getting better. So everything just intertwines with each other one way or another. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know, as long as you enjoy what you do too, it's like
That's
it never feels like you're actually forcing it. And that's the thing for
right.
me. It's like I don't ever want to force something. Like with ironwork, I'm sure you're just like, this feels forced. Like,
100%. 100%. It's crazy
but
how you got the job because I was just on Instagram one day. I think there's a page on Instagram. I think it's called Job Opening NJ, and I was just scrolling on there, and it says, "Oh, do you want to become an iron worker? Such and such. Here's a date for the application." I'm like, "You just give it a try." You know what I'm saying? So I was
yeah,
doing prior research to it, and I'm just like, we're about 60 feet in the air, walking on little beams, and the only thing that's holding us up is harnesses." And I
that's
hear about
crazy.
all these different deaths.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
yeah, and it's never your mistake. It's always someone else's mistake. So that's the scary part,
Mm,
and I'm just like, you know what? Let's just do it. You know what I'm saying? So I went
yeah.
after it, and ever since then, that's all she wrote.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I would pray before every shift, after the
Come
shift.
on, man.
Like this is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, but you were chosen for a reason, so and you in good shape. So it just you got that core. You know what I'm saying? You ain't falling. You just kind of pivot. You
Yeah.
good. You
Right.
good.
Right. So
Um,
what made you choose being a social worker?
what it was that I went to college, and I thought that I wanted to do computer information systems, which
I
is
was
kind of like
yeah,
coding and all this. Because I
yeah,
was really like tech girly, or I thought I was. I
yeah.
don't know. And so they had the shadow program at Rider University. I went in. I was like, heck no, this is not for me. This
Mhm.
is completely, I can't. So I always stood on the foundation of like, I just want to help people. I always said that. I didn't know how, but I just like, I want to help people.
I love that.
And yeah, it started with the sociology. So I majored in sociology, minored in psychology, and then I minored in social work. It was very broad. I thought I was going to be a therapist, and I was sooner than later found out that nope, can't do that either. I mean, I
Mhm.
can, but do I find joy and fulfillment in that long term? No, not really. So yeah, I think it just came down to like if I wanted to be a therapist, I would also put myself in a box. Whereas like social work is very more, it's like broad. I can use
Right.
my skills in very different areas, which I am now. You know, by day, that's like day or night, but like whatever. My part time is really being a admin assistant for other entrepreneurs. So that is like it is about like being a people person, having that rapport,
Yeah.
having that empathy, practicing active listening, and that's all the skills that you need just like in a business too. So
Real,
it
yeah.
just kind of worked out.
I love that.
Okay. Yeah, it just kind of
I'm
worked
sorry.
out. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's so funny how life just takes a complete turn. Because it's like I never thought that I would be here. Did you ever think that you would be here doing what you're doing?
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even have guessed it.
Well, I guess it goes. This is a good segue to my next question because I just want you to share maybe a pivotal moment or some pivotal moments that really took you from the challenging times to discovering what you do now, like your true potential and just being the multi-skilled entrepreneur that you are today.
Mhm. Okay, I got an interesting story for you then. So
Okay.
back in 2011, right, during the time I was just constantly getting in trouble with the law, there was a time they sent me to a juvenile program called Warren Residential, right? So I was 18 at the time, so I'm like, why am I getting sent to a juvenile program? Not knowing this program would help transition me into the person I am today. So I get
Mm.
sent to this program. I'm like, dang, like, so I'm talking to the teachers and people who, the staff that work there. Just like, hey, listen, the minimum amount of months you have to stay here is 5 months. That's the quickest you can get out based on your grades, based on how you progress, versus 2 to 3 years. I'm like, what? It's like, yeah, things
Mm.
happen. People fight. They get sent to down to Jamesburg, which is a juvenile jail, whatever you want to call it. And I'm like, for real? I'm like, nah, I can't stay. I got 5 months for them. And this program changed my life so immensely. I
Mm.
mean, so it basically like military school in a sense. So they taught us
Yeah.
gardening. We had to walk around in uniform. You had to walk around with your hands behind your back all day. We had our shirts tucked. We would do chores. We would. That's when I actually first started working out as well. They had something called the barn, was a bunch of workout equipment in. We were in
Mm.
school. I was getting all A's. They had people come in every Wednesday to do Bible study. I mean, dang, they had everything. And then they were paying us. I'm not gonna say how much they were paying us because it's nothing, but it was paying us what, like $3 a day based on your productivity. I don't know, yeah. But it was amazing because it was an incentive to say, hey, listen, let me work harder, because at the end of the week, you were able to order Chinese, go out to the movies. I mean, I got my GED
Mm.
and my driver's license in this program. So now what
Mm.
sucked was that once I graduated this program, first of all, I'm a complete different person after this program. I spent 5 months, I graduated, and they say, all right, listen, you're going home. The only way you can get released is if a parent or guardian comes to pick you up. So I'm calling my mother. I'm like, hey, Mom, I graduated the program. She's like, hi, I'm coming to pick you up. She never
Mm.
came.
Mm.
So the guy was like, listen, I'm going to try to bring you home, and then we'll knock on the door, see what's going on. So he drove me to my house in Irvington at the time, and we're parked outside of there, and we go to the door. We're knocking. My mother's not answering. So we stayed outside for about 30, 40 minutes. He's like, listen, no one comes out. I'm going to have to take you back to the program. Mind you, I can hear my mother inside. So she finally opens the door. I'm like, hey, Ma, like, what's going on? Why can I come inside? She's like, hey, listen, you and your brother have been causing me so much trouble. You don't live here
Mm.
anymore. And
Wow.
yeah. So for 4 years, I actually, after 2011, I became homeless. So
Wow.
that was
Wow.
so going from that progress to coming home and, yeah, you don't live here anymore. That kind of just like, so I went down a very steep hill for those next
Mm.
4 years of my life. I turned to gang banging. I started doing heavy drugs. I was out here toting guns, sagging my pants. And it's crazy because throughout the years, I ran into my mother twice. Out of 4 years, I ran into her twice. Once was at the mall, and I was with my friends, and she was on the second level and I was on the first, and we just gave each other a look.
Mm.
Tried to approach each other, nothing. Then the second time was in the street near where I was living at the time, and I was walking the dog, and she drove past me. She stopped. I said, "Hey, Ma." I'm like, "Look, I'm not even sagging my pants no more." She said in Creole, she said, "I felt bon." It means like, oh, you good now, or something like that. And she just drove off.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, we could dive deeper on how I was able to move back in with her and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that.
yeah.
Because honestly, I mean, I can only imagine how you felt because I mean, that's your mom, right? So to me, it's like, I'm looking for you to embrace me, to like, I'm doing good. I'm coming back home. And then you just get the door slammed in your face.
Yeah.
Like, I, so granted, now you were on a high. Now you just came way low. But how did you get yourself back up again?
So earlier, remember we was talking about PBS, Pretty Boy Status, one of my
Oh,
best
yeah.
friends, Wall
Yeah.
Smith. I love him to death. He invited me to come to church. It was December 31st, 2014 or 15. And
Mm.
he's like, yo, bro, like, I would love to see you come to church, man. Your mom would love to see you. Just come to church. I'm like, I don't know, bro. I'm going to see what's up. And I end up going. It was a beautiful service. And because I haven't been to church for so long, 3, 4 years, I haven't been to church. And it was a
Mm.
beautiful service. And now it's part of the service where the first lady of the church is like, hey, listen, let's celebrate. It's New Year. Everyone go around and hug each other. I see my mother. she ran up to me and gave me a hug, and I can't express to you how fulfilling that hug was. And I
Mm.
ended up spending the night at her home, and that night turned into many nights. And she's a few doors down right now, so yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So our
Wow.
relationship definitely grew immensely from there on. You know, so and
Yeah.
I can't say I could be upset at her for what transpired because I literally put her through the craziest of things growing up. I mean, in and out of trouble all the time, especially my
Yeah.
mother, especially my brother moved to Irvington with us. Like we was just the duo, just out here wilding. So I wasn't
Yeah.
mad at her. You know,
Yeah. I mean, to have that type of level of forgiveness too, and just to understand that it's like definitely growth on your part. Um, I know you were mentioning church and just, I mean, your faith seems very strong now. Like, so how far does it go back? Like, have you, I mean, you said like you were like 14, right? You were
right,
also in the church.
right.
So at any point during that time, did your faith like shake and you were just like, I don't know. I don't really believe in that this is going to get better, or like had those thoughts like this
Mhm.
is repairable, or, those type of things.
All right. Truth be told, I actually grew up in church being a musician, so I was the drummer at the time, and all I cared was
Another
drum.
trade? Like what? Okay, a drummer to the list. Okay. I
Yeah,
love
yeah, yeah,
drums. I really love
yeah.
drums though. I do.
Wow.
Okay, sorry. I'm not going to interrupt. Go ahead.
You're good. You're not interrupted. So, yeah, I was a drummer, and I absolutely loved it because you're able to minister to God
Mhm.
using music, and at first it was play, but as my faith got deeper and I could just feel the way I was just playing the music in church, I was loving it. And
Mhm.
I was also on the praise and worship team doing mime dances, and I was also in the choir. So I was tapped in. But once
Yeah.
2011 came and I was outside of church, I felt no I had at a point I felt I had nothing to live for.
Mhm.
Like, bro, I feel so unwanted. So my faith definitely I struggled with my faith for many years, and that my environment didn't help, and the people around me also hindered me. But 2015 up until now, my faith has changed a lot. I've gotten
Yeah.
closer to God, and it's funny that you asked because during COVID 2020, I went through the I went through something I didn't know was depression because I never been through it before. And the fact that during COVID, I just had to face myself versus who I pretended to be. I
Mhm.
mean, I went through such a self identity journey, and I'm so glad that I went through that because I felt like it was a God given thing. It was God saying, hey, listen, sit down and let me show you this. Let me show you who you truly are. Let me show you the environments you're not supposed to be around. Let me show you what I've been protecting you from. And I mean, it sucked because I
Yeah.
was I was on the game day and night. I mean, early morning to about 4 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't taking a shower till 4 o'clock in the morning. I was my diet sucked. I was eating Chinese food every day for about 2 months straight, to a point where if I didn't order in like a couple days, they would call me. When I
They knew
ordered,
you by name
right?
and
They'll
order.
they'll throw an extra they'll throw an extra wing in the box or a shrimp egg roll, just trying to like. I'm like, oh yeah, this is crazy. So
Wow.
yeah, I was deep in it. I mean, it was
Yeah.
bad to the point my mother. She's like, Sammy, you look bad. Like
Mm.
I'm fit. My mother know I'm fit, but she won't tell me whatever. But the fact that she's like, Sammy, you have a belly now. You know, I was
Mm.
just like, dang. And what really drove me out of that was I had a couple friends pull up on me just to say what's up, and that was the first time I've been outside in months. Like that don't sound crazy, not going
I,
outside for months. And
yeah.
and my dear friends Star and Thomas, I mean, I adore them for what they did because that helped pivot me. And outside of those two friends, I had another friend of mine who lives in California. Shout out to her. She sent me a Mike Todd video. And she was like, listen, just, watch this video, take notes, and whatever you get from it, pray on it. And
Mm.
ever since that video, that's where I really start tapping back into my faith. That's what really dug me out of my depression, and life just changed from there.
Was it
So,
crazy faith or was it
crazy.
something different?
What do you mean, crazy faith?
So he has a sermon series called Crazy Faith, and he also has a book called Crazy Faith. So I
It wasn't.
wonder what. Oh, okay.
I still
I
have the
wonder.
notes somewhere, but it wasn't crazy faith.
Mm.
I don't remember, but I still have the notes.
Yeah,
It
no,
was
I'm just.
before. It was before the performative things. It was.
I got you. But nonetheless, I appreciate that even the people, even though you were going through what you were going through, God still placed those people around you that, to get you back on track. So you were never alone. And he's always around you. So even in those down moments, like he was still showing you, okay, this is possible. You need to, like he was pretty much convicting you, I'm sure. So it's
Yep.
like, that is the thing is like, I'm proud of you for even just listening and just being mindful of that. Like, you know what? Because you could have easily been like, I don't care what you got to say. Like, I'm going to do what I want to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm comfortable right here. You could have said a whole opposite narrative. Like, you could have just been cool.
Yeah.
But for you to just be like, okay, no, I really need to open up my eyes, my heart, and my and my ears, and really like get on the right path and do things differently. Because I think, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, because I feel like um that example of you feeling that high when you left the program, it's like you knew you weren't there anymore. So you're like, I know this isn't it, but how do I get back to that feeling? You
Yep.
just didn't know how,
Exactly.
but he placed the people there and the things that you needed just to get
Yeah.
right back.
And God is not a God of. He's not a God of coincidence. Like, everything God does is intentional, and we don't see it until we're in the midst of it. We met this certain
Hmm.
person that did this. Like, it's so crazy how God works. And if you just take a step back and just pay attention, you're like, yo, what?
Yeah.
He is working. So it's yeah.
Yeah, every day. I don't know about you, but I'm very into signs, I guess. I've always been there. I'm always that person like pay attention to the signs because they're all around you. Um, whether it's the animals that I come across, like I've been coming
Mhm.
across some animals that just be like, I've never seen you before,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna look you up and see what you mean, what you represent. I'm looking at just different types of like, I mean, I still follow numbers. I think numbers are important because that's, you gotta also know how he communicates with you too. Like, that's just our thing. It's like numbers or like a um songs are still a thing. So like I would wake up, and until this day, like I wake up and then there's a song that's in my head. So I wake up, go to the bathroom, I'm brushing my teeth, and I'm just singing it. I'm like, what does this mean? It has like every song obviously has a message in it. So, and these are like different things that people, either have or don't have. But I love that like our relationship is so different. So I'm sure it's
Absolutely.
different for you. I'm not saying that he drops songs in your head, maybe, but like
Now,
for me, that's just what it is.
you know what's crazy? You just reminded me. So I was watching one of your episodes, right? And
Hmm.
I recall, I forgot which episode it was. And I recall you saying that you kept seeing the number 26 for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been dealing with that same exact thing for months. And what makes it even crazier, it's the same number. And
No way.
it is mind blowing. And there was a time, so I ain't gonna dive too deep on it because it's crazy, but there was a time that I kept seeing 326, 326, 326. And I'm like,
Mm,
let me try to see if I can translate that into the Bible. And it brought me
yeah.
to, I believe, don't quote me if I'm wrong, it's the third book in the Bible, Leviticus.
I'm
Right.
still learning. But yeah, I got you. I
Right.
got you.
We're all learning. We're all still learning. So it brought me to Leviticus, and the title of this chapter was Blessings for obedience. And I was
Mm.
trying to figure out what that meant to me. And after that, God kept showing me signs on what He wants me to do. He was placing certain people in certain places at certain times where I would interact with Him. And because I've been looking for purpose for so long and career wise, right?
Yeah.
And I'm meeting the people in the same career, and I'm just like, how was this possible? Times where like, I'm not about to go to the gym today, but I go to the gym and I introduce myself to the person that's in the career that God is telling me to go follow. And then I'm like, I want to go get them cotton candy grapes from Whole Foods, but I ain't trying to spend that $1. I go to Whole Foods, same exact thing. It is mind blowing, and
Yeah.
I can't act like I don't see what's going on. So I got to be obedient, and that's what I've been pursuing so far. And
Yeah.
for me, it makes sense to what he's saying to me because I see the benefits in that career that he wants me to pursue.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Listen, oh, you just gave me chills. Okay. That's dope. I mean, it's something about the spiritual eye for real. A lot of us don't have that. A lot
Yeah.
of us don't have spiritual ears, and I mean, you get to that point obviously, but it's
Absolutely.
about really like growing into that. You just don't get it and you're like, "Okay, I'm good." No, like you have to you have to train it. You got to
Yeah.
like really build. And I really appreciate your journey so far. Like I'm like really interested to know more cuz
Yeah.
that
Yeah. I
is
appreciate
that
you
is
having
really
me.
dope.
This is like my first real time giving my testimony. So I love that it's on your platform, and I never really been this open with people because I'm a guy that, I like to just go through things alone. I don't really talk much to, people, but when people ask and I'm open to being open, I'm open to being vulnerable with people, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you did say, okay, because we were trying to get the bio going,
Hmm.
and you said in your bio you wanted to mentor, right? You wanted to influence and impact young men. So, with that being said, you have to be vulnerable, right? You have to be transparent. You
That's real.
have to be able to come out and really speak about what you've been through. So, how are you? Well, thank you again for being transparent here, but how are you going to transition that into being a mentor
Yeah.
for other young men?
That's a great question. So my friends and I have been wanting to start this podcast for so many months now. And you know how it is trying to plan things with black people. It's just never organized. Like we from the trips, from going out just to go bowl and stuff like that. So it hasn't been on point. But it's one thing just telling me, you know what, I can't necessarily just wait for my friends. This is something
Yeah.
I gotta do myself. So let's think about the ways I can reach the young people. Is it, speaking motivational quotes in my fitness videos? Is it just releasing my old videos? Because what I do a lot too, I know we haven't been following each other for a while, but every day I'm in the gym, I always post a quote on my story. There's always just things going in my head. So I'm always posting a quote on my story. And I've been doing that for so long. And I'm like, you know what? I get a lot of feedback on the quotes that I post on my story. I can do something with this. So there's so many
Hmm.
lanes I can take. I just need to stop being so just like, I want to just be strategic. I just gotta do it. I just
You
gotta do it.
scared? You scared?
For me, I don't want to call myself a perfectionist, but I just like to plan things accordingly, just so know I'm on point. I don't like to just throwing anything out there. Same with my
Yeah.
video. When I'm editing behind here, people will see a 1 minute video, but don't see the 3-4 hours I spent editing, coloring it, adding sound,
Yeah.
so many things because I love what I do. So if I say I love
Hmm.
something, I gotta really pour my all into that thing, you know.
Yeah.
So I gotta,
Yeah.
yeah, I gotta pour my all into them.
Yeah, no, I get that, and that's kind of how I am too. I'm just like, listen, I need all my ducks in a row. I need the
Mhm.
T's crossed, the I's dotted. Like what? But that gets in the way of the creativity. You know what I
Yep,
mean? Like we're
you're
supposed to
absolutely right.
flow,
Yep.
and I think that's the beauty of it all is kind of like practicing that because it's like I don't always want to have a schedule. I don't always want to
Yes.
be on. Um, so I've learned in I guess this time in my life to just appreciate the spontaneous moments and the spontaneous things.
I love that.
Um because it's like I first of all, going back to God don't want us on no schedule. I mean, yes, he's like, you can prepare, that's cool, but like at the end of the day, what's gonna happen is gonna happen.
No,
Like at the end of the day, you just need to flow, and that you don't need to resist, because when the resistance comes, that's when all everything gets messed up.
I agree.
So listen,
I agree.
I think you need to like let that go, because
Hmm.
I'm waiting. If anybody is waiting, I'm waiting to hear your podcast, because it's
Okay.
funny when I was mentioning that you were on the other podcast, I was like, I could see you being a podcast host. Like, you
Seriously.
have really good questions. Like, you just know how to work the space. I felt like that it was kind of like you were the host. If I didn't know any better, I felt like you was kind of like a co-host, and you was just like, bam, boom, like, all right, cool. But that's just how your presence is, and that's just coming through a screen.
Girl,
But
you make my heart smile right now.
I'm just being honest.
Thank you for affirming me. That's so sweet. Thank you for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause you hold your own. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're like but the questions come out so easily. So I'm like, I could tell that you're a conversationalist. So it's just, again, child, just add it to the list. Podcast host. You gonna edit your own videos. You
Yeah,
gonna use your
that's it.
camera for the podcast. Like you
Yeah,
said, everything just works together.
exactly. What am I waiting on? I have all the equipment. I got the professional mics. I got the camera. What am I waiting on? You know,
Well,
I'm gonna need your
listen,
help though.
I'm here.
I'm gonna need your
Listen,
expertism. Come on now.
I'm here. I'm
I
here
need an
for you.
expert. Yeah.
But I can't wait for that. I think, yes, you can make more of a impact and a reach. But I also think too, like, do you want to go into like different organizations or like nonprofits, or just have your own nonprofit one day just to help young men?
That's a great question. See, I never even thought that far. You know, that would be an amazing idea because I know I have the right people in my life and they have the right connections to where I can actually expand whatever I'm trying to, pursue and put out into the world. So you just
Yeah.
put an idea in my head. I just gotta, you know, definitely pursue it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What advice would you give young men, or just anybody really, doesn't have to be young men, um, right now, that to let them know that they're not really bound to their past, and they have a chance to transform and be someone totally different, or actually who they're made to actually be, because life takes us down a dark alley, but just to let them know that they do have a chance. What advice would you give them?
I'll say for one, definitely you want to set goals. Identify what you want and break it down into smaller steps. You know what I'm saying? Two, you want to develop a positive mindset. If you're constantly telling yourself, for me, if I'm in a car, I just came back from Dunkin' Donuts, I'm on my way to work, I'm stuck in traffic, and somebody, short stops in front of me and I spill my coffee on me, I can't sit there and say, I'm going to have a bad day today. You cannot do that. You cannot go
Yeah.
into the negative and call it suppressing if you want. But for me, when I'm going through things, as long as it's not what I've been through in the past, as long as it's not the worst I've been through, I'm always fine. People will call it suppression, whatever the case may be. I don't call it that. I call it just not taking life too serious. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if you can't stand in line, a fast food line for 10 minutes, you huffing and puffing, like relax, relax. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So definitely, maintain a positive mindset and just continue to affirm yourself. Lastly, I will say for three is definitely take action. And
Mm.
I don't want to be, the one not taking my own advice, but definitely take action, take heed to what you say, and just attack. Just attack, attack, attack.
Those are good.
Yeah,
Those are excellent, actually.
yeah.
So, what keeps you motivated to keep going?
What keeps me motivated? That's a
Like, you persevere, like, you just seem persevering. Like, I'm saying, not every day's easy, but
that's a
you
great.
make it look easy.
It's for me. I just never want to go back to the person I used to be. So when I'm in the gym, right, and I
Hmm.
got my headphones on, and if we work out someday, you'll see. So I'm in a gym, and I start to zone out because I'm so locked in. I'll start zoning out, and that's me thinking about all the bad things I've been through in life. that pushes me so much when I'm in the gym. That is really my motivation. I never want to go back to what I used to be. I'm
Yeah.
always focused on being a better person. That's real.
Yeah. I agree. I
Hey,
agree
what
to
about
that.
you?
Um, what motivate I agree. That's like literally the
Never.
same
Yeah.
because I feel like I mean that and the fact that I know that who I'm meant to help is waiting for me.
Mhm.
I think that's the other part of it. Um
He was said.
the the me before was very like lack of confidence, very quiet.
Confident.
Not really, yeah, I was not
Really?
really confident. I was really not too sure of myself.
I don't see
Yeah,
any of
it
I don't see any of those traits.
yeah, now.
Oh man.
um I had to do a lot of internal work, a lot of like mindset shifting. And that's why I want to help other people do the same because whether it's in their business or just like when I first started my business, I really wanted to help women and their self confidence. But then I had to pivot, and now I'm doing what I'm doing now and helping professionals move into the entrepreneurship space. But still, the foundation is the confidence, is the mindset, and
Yeah.
it's because and that's with anything. You have to make sure that you're good with self and that you're able to, I don't know, just have a self evaluation, right? Like you have to check yourself off every day, not just, oh, I'm going to do this like every month or every year. Like, no, you have to assess yourself every day. Or am I on track to being the person that I want to be? Am I making the good decisions that I need to make in order to move forward and progress? If not, what changes do I need to make? Who do I need to let go of? Like, what is it that I got to do? Um, and it's never like an overnight thing, as we all know,
Oh, no.
but
Yeah.
at least it's like, that is what really keeps me going is knowing that, you know, as long as I'm helping myself, I'm allowed and capable of helping others. I can't sit here and help other people if I'm not doing it for myself either. So
Mm.
that is that.
Spitting.
Nope.
You spitting.
I
I
appreciate you.
love that. That was beautifully well said. I love that.
See, a part of me is like, did I ramble? Cause
You know
yeah.
what? I want to say something to that. You know what's crazy? I catch myself saying that to a lot of people where I'm expressing myself and I'm like, am I talking too much? I'm my bad for rambling. And I had to think to myself, where does that come from? Is that the little boy inside of me that didn't have that space to just talk and express himself?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
mm,
that's deep. No, that's real. That is so real because I told you, like, I was very quiet. And now when I talk, I'm like, am I talking too much? Like, do they want to hear me talk? Like, I don't know. So that's where I'm trying to get out of that habit so bad, like real bad.
yeah,
But it will come out. I give myself until the end of the year.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
It- yeah, because we can't be going around be saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Am I rambling? No,
You
but
good?
I appreciate that. So there's this quote that I came across, and I think it speaks very highly to your transformation and just your journey. And the quote is, "Remember, no matter where you start, it's your determination and faith that define your path." And that, like, to me, when I from the outside looking in, right, like you are very determined to not go back. You're very determined to really s- stay grounded in your faith, build on your faith, and just be overall a better human being for yourself and for others. Um, but you also know that like what you went through just only made you stronger. It made you the person who you're meant to be. Um, and what you went through, as the quote says, doesn't define your path. And I think that's a beautiful thing that you are able to see that, and you're able to know that, like, hey, I I am able to overcome these things, and you know what? I'm only better because of them. So I'm so proud of you. And I am excited for the next part of your journey and what that looks like. And yeah, it's gonna be great. I already have a good feeling about it.
I really appreciate that a lot. For real. That means a lot. You really just affirmed me so much today. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. I think I just do that like breathing air.
Yeah, I could tell you was a people person before you even said it. So yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So I want to give you space to pretty much shine a light on those that you're grateful for, that you are appreciative of. This is a segment that I've had on the show for a long, long time called Shine a Light on Them.
Okay.
And so I don't have lights, I don't have music yet,
Mhm.
but you could name a person, a few people. Like some people say, hey, like it's like I'm giving an Oscar speech, but
Okay.
this is the floor. You got the floor.
So shine a light on somebody. I want one special shout out to somebody. Ooh,
Or many. It not don't have to be one.
you know what?
Could be a few.
I gotta give a shout out to my guy. My guy Wall Smith, my best friend. I gotta give a shout out to him. Been down since we gonna be down, got me back in church, got me back right with my mother. Shout out to my boy Wall. 100%.
Hey, shout out to him.
Yeah.
Listen,
PBS.
you always need like those type of friends. They just gonna get you right. And
Mm-hmm.
he sound like a real one. I appreciate
Oh,
that.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll do one today because I feel like I have not done, like I haven't said it on the podcast. I usually
Right.
give, the guests their space, but I had so many great moments, this past weekend, and just like I haven't really had time to just sit in gratitude with it because I've just been on go. So like I am very, very appreciative for the people that have been rocking with me for the first year. Just going into year two, I feel so renewed, so refreshed. There's nothing that I think I have a different mindset of like there's nothing that I can't do. And then like you affirmed that to me as well. I feel like in year two it's going to be, of course, the next level, but I'm going to be able to reach more people that I could ever possibly think or could imagine.
Talk to you.
Um, there's things that I see happening, but I just don't know how. And I'm just like, what we doing? Like
Yeah.
sometimes I like get no doubt in my mind. I get afraid. I do because I'm like, you're trusting me with this. But yeah, like absolutely. And to anybody out that is like fearful or just like I don't know, second guessing everything. Like things are happening because you are chosen. Things are happening because
Mm.
you are divinely guided to do the things and impact the people that you're meant to impact. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Just know that you are being led, you are protected, and you are loved, you are guided, and like just do the thing. Just do the thing. And I think I always say Nike got the best tag. Like just do it.
You
Just
know
do
it.
it.
Yeah.
But I'm very, very appreciative for every person out there listening, every person out there that like really rides with Divine Glow. And if you don't know Divine Glow yet, hey, get to know us. No, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. Let the people know, let the listeners know where they can connect you. Whether like any social media that you have, anywhere.
All right. I'm mostly on Instagram, so y'all can find me at _, the real Snoopy, TherealSnoopy. You know the vibes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So all of this, well, all of it, just
Uh-huh.
the whole Instagram name will be in the show notes for you guys and in the description on YouTube for you. But yeah, we are listen, he gonna be back for part two.
That's
Don't
right.
even trip because I feel like we got so much more to talk about, and I'm sure we're gonna get some more tea on what's up and next in his journey. So thank you so much for tuning in today for your Divine Glow podcast. I hope Sam's story has inspired you just to see that your past really doesn't define your future and you have another chance out here. So we'll catch you in the next episode. And until then, let your divine glow shine, babies. Peace.